Who should we follow on the spiritual path? Should we follow anyone at all? First and foremost, we should follow ourselves. We should connect to a current of being, a current of feeling, a current of acting within ourselves that knows the right way to go, that feels the right way to go, right? That has an intuition about what is right for us, what is correct for us. You know, if we're a developed, integrated, evolved human being, this should be what leads us. This should be what moves us through life, this feeling for what is right. But for most of us, that feeling is buried and eclipsed by layers of conditioned, patterned thought that usually has for its kind of axis, its center, fear. But that fear is usually disguised. It's disguised in the cloak of other emotions, other desires, other ideas, other stories. Most of us don't want to admit to ourselves that we are actually afraid, that we are actually insecure. Right? So how does this relate to following ourselves or following somebody else? Ultimately, the end game of following, whether we follow ourselves, our own feelings, or we follow somebody else, a teacher, a guru, a guide, is to get to this point where we are completely autonomous, where we always, in every moment, know the right thing to do, the right thing to say, right, the right direction to go, the right decision to make. And we don't know it because we've read all these books telling us what the right thing to do, or we've been brainwashed by some guy who calls himself a guru or whatever. We know because we feel, and we're confident in how we feel. Simple. Right? That's the state we're aiming for, this autonomous state. Because that's life. Then we're in life. I mean, look at nature, look at the natural world. Do you see nature having to think, having to stumble, having to stutter when it's deciding what it does? No, it just moves, it just flows. We also have that natural current within us. We know when we need to eat. We know when we need to drink. We know when we need to go to the toilet or whatever. So why aren't all decisions that simple for us? Because other decisions have come to involve our emotions, have come to involve our traumas, have come to involve our insecurities, right? This is what prevents us from being in that state. So this is the end goal. But on the way to that goal, if we can, if by whatever chance we meet somebody, doesn't matter whether they call themselves a guide, guru or master, or this might be a red flag actually if they go around calling themselves this. But other people may see them like that, right? If we meet such a person and their words, their presence, whatever, their guidance, content, helps us to follow ourselves, helps us to connect to ourselves deeper. And at the same time, that being, that person, does not try to bind us to themselves, does not try to brainwash us with their own ideas, does not try and make us a follower, a cult member or anything like this. If such a person guides us, has a beneficial impact on us, helps us to transform without trying to stick us to themselves, then this may be somebody worth following. And when I say follow, I just mean somebody to connect to. It might be someone we don't even talk to them. We just read what they have to say. We read their writings or watch their videos or whatever. We don't even necessarily need to talk to them. If such a person's available, we also may feel like talking to them, getting specific guidance or whatever. So by following, that's all that I mean. Either we engage with their content, we read their words if we find them beneficial, or further than that, maybe we talk to them, we ask them questions, get some guidance. This should be all that following is. It doesn't have to mean being a part of something, running around after somebody, preaching about somebody, trying to promote somebody, whatever teacher, to other people. This doesn't have to be there. And a real master, a real guide shouldn't demand this of people. And I'm not even saying that all of this should necessarily be free. If someone gives us something, if someone delivers something to us, we should be grateful, and we should express that gratitude however we see fit. That may be in words, it may be in thanks, it may be through saying, oh, can I help in any way, whatever you're doing. It may be through giving donation or whatever. Right? Nothing's free in this world. Everything is an exchange. And if you want everything to be free, if you try to get everything for free, well, you'll indebt yourself. That debt might not be visible to you in the same way that basic kind of financial debt is, but eventually that debt will be made visible to you. Okay, so this is another aspect of following. If you receive something, give back in some way, even if it's just expressing gratitude, expressing, right, thank you, this has benefited me, right? But even all that we don't need. If we can follow ourselves, if we've got a strong sense for what is right for us, if we're clear about what we need to do, if we, also get some clarity about what the spiritual path is, then we can go for it. That's fine, that's wonderful. That's even less complicated. It means we don't have to get involved with any of this, whatever gurus or masters or anything like this, right? But most people need some kind of input. And also some of these kind of masters or guides, they have a energetic radiation, an energetic kind of transmission that also helps, that also has an effect beyond just the words themselves. So if we're going to follow anyone, first of all, we must follow ourselves. That's an absolute must. But if we are going to follow or connect to another person, another being, in the role of guide or in the role of just friend, whatever, spiritual friend, whatever, that person has to help us connect to ourselves. They have to make us more autonomous. If they're just filling our minds full of different ideas, if they're just binding us to themselves, attaching us to themselves, making us into servile sycophants and encouraging that kind of thing, then this is not the right person to follow. Absolutely not. The only correct person to connect to in the role of guru, guide, master or whatever is the one who effortlessly empowers us, whom it's natural for us to connect to. That connection feels natural, it feels easy. And by connecting to that person, we feel stronger, more autonomous, more independent, more connected to ourselves, more natural, more fluid, more flexible, and all of these kind of things. I think this message is quite simple and clear. I think it's a message that will resonate totally for anyone who genuinely wants that experience of being empowered, being autonomous. If we're craving other kinds of experiences, then maybe this message will not make any difference. But this is my opinion on this topic, which is full of possible pitfalls, possible traumas and all sorts. But I think if we follow this message, then I think it'll take us on the right track in the world of following, connecting, even if we're just following and connecting to ourselves, which is anyway the pinnacle.